London has plenty of previous when it comes to gangs, mobs and firms. For decades, names like Sabini, Cortese, Richardson and of course Krays have become synonymous with crime and violence. In every firm there were ruthless enforcers. One man in particular stands out, Mad Frankie Fraser. Born in 1923, he earned his moniker after slashing gangland boss Jack Spot. He went on to become a key member of South London's most infamous gang, the Richardsons. Fraser's role was to offer protection to pubs and clubs in exchange for Eddie's one-armed bandits being installed. Failure to do so meant running the risk of having the landlord or the pub damaged.
Well, I'd come out of prison doing 7 years and I was introduced to them and liked them immediately. And that was it. And then I teamed up with them.
In the 60s, it was great because when it was good, it was very, very good. I mean, you had a nice Bentley car, pulled up nightclubs and all this and that, everything was going on. It was great, you know.
If you had the West End, that's the jewel in the crown in London. Not the pubs, not this, not that, the West End. The West End is a money-making machine. And they had their finger in every pie. If the machine went into a club, they was basically minding the club without putting anyone on the door or whatever. But they were very honest and very good with everyone. They weren't greedy. They invited, if anyone went to work with them, they put them in on the coup and give them a fair share. And that's what made my dad and Eddie so good.
Fraser and his two sons have spent over 70 years behind bars. Fraser Sr. had a terrifying reputation as an inmate, repeatedly refusing to submit to custody and protesting about conditions. He started the infamous Parkhurst riots and was accused of kidnapping and hanging the governor of Wandsworth Prison.
I was a right headache to them in prison. I would never give in. I've done more bread and water than any man alive. They don't have it as a punishment now in prison. And I've got an extra 5 years at Parkhurst and all for leading a riot. And they thought by certifying me, I go to Broadmoor and it gets me out of the system. Because the prison officers would be going, we've got to get rid of him. We either got to kill him or certify him. He's making our job hard. And that's why they certified us insane. And it suited me, I could put up with that, because Broadmoor then was much better than prison. Also, I'd first punched a prison officer when I was very young. You can see how small I am, and I was about as fat as my finger then. And when they see me, the prison officers, you could read their face. They'd be going, a little cockney so-and-so, we'll put him in his place. And they'd make life very hard for me, and I would just retaliate. I'd fight back.
On one occasion, Fraser viciously attacked a guard at Parkhurst Prison.
Well, this prison officer said I cut one of his ears off, and they couldn't find it. Well, the reason they couldn't find it, it was put down the toilet, I flushed the chain, and it's floating somewhere off the Isle of Wight. And for the rest of his career, he was known as the Area Harry.
Well, Fraser had quite a notorious reputation, mainly gained by his imprisonment. So when he came out of prison, you know, I mean, he'd done all sorts of things, you know, so he had a big reputation for imprisonment. I must say that he was game. If there's anything to do, I had to see someone or do anything, you know, I should say, Frank, we've got to go somewhere. He never hesitated. He jumped in the motor, you know, so he was game enough, that's all I'd say.
Eddie Richardson was once described by not one, but two Home Secretaries as one of the most dangerous men in Britain. Together with his older brother Charlie, they controlled South London.
Eddie Richardson
was more of the muscle man. Charlie was a businessman, and Eddie teamed up with Mad Frankie Fraser and started a company called Atlantic Gaming Machines, and they put in fruit machines in various pubs and clubs around Soho, which they made money from, but they also got protection from those premises and made quite a lot of money out of it.
There was bits of violence, yeah, of course there was. I mean, there was everywhere, isn't there? Everywhere. And especially more so in them days, because, as I say, more people used to look after themselves in them days, much more than what they do, you know,
Can you think
today.
of any, like, particularly bad incidents up there?
Well, there was some people did get chopped up a bit with a couple of choppers, you know, on their legs, mainly on their legs. I think they was Polish that tried to encroach on someone's property. So they did get, you know, chopped up a bit. But no one got arrested for it. It didn't happen in them days like that. Nowadays, I mean, it's all on film, these cameras, videos from the cameras now. I mean, there's nothing. In them days, you was lucky to find a phone box that worked.
Both the Richardsons and Fraser were accused of torturing their enemies. Severe beatings, cigarette burns, teeth being ripped out with pliers, and being electrocuted into unconsciousness were all on their menu of pain.
They called it a torture trial because people was making all sorts of accusations, right, and getting believed anything went at the time.
Like attaching clips to their nipples and sending electric shocks through them doesn't seem your style, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, Charlie would have them for days. He would have them for hours and hours. I know once that he got broken into and he had quite a lot of his suits nicked and all that, and he had half of the fucking villains in South London in, didn't he, under question.
The guy who said I pulled his teeth out with pliers, he approached my sister, said, if you give me £1,000, Eva, when that was a hell of a lot of money then, I'll tell the truth, it never happened. So Eva took him to a solicitor, L.B. Woods was the chauffeur, took him to a solicitor and he made a statement saying he told the police a pack of liars and dropped him home. He then went straight to the police and said she threatened him. She was nicked and for conspiring to pervert the course of justice and got 3 years when she was absolutely innocent, yeah. And he swore her life away.
What about all the other stories about electric boxes and...
No, a lot of it all rubbish, son. They could say that then and get away with it. But I only wished it had been true. When I was doing my 20 years, would it have been lovely if I could have been going, oh, what a good job I made of that back molar. I wished I'd have turned up the machine a bit better. That wasn't true, though. And poor Eddie and Charlie, the Richardson, they got all that time and all, but absolutely nothing.
Found a little generator in the scrapyard, and he used to attach it to people's nuts and everything and electrocute them. And one guy tells the story where he sat him down, hit him on the head with a bayonet, and one of the crowd said, look at that, looks like a mouth opening. So he rubbed a pie in, give it something to eat. He's a fucking lunatic.
We'll give him, like, the right that he has got a lot of arsehole with him, you know. And I've served several sentences in the neck with him, Fraser, and he's got to be loopy-loop.
Well, I think my dad had done over 40 years in jail. I done about 25 years. I think Patrick's done at least 16 or something. Frank's done nearly more or less the same. We've done a lot of bird between us all. They know how to put us away, that's for sure. But if you're in this game, you've got to expect the consequences of it, of your problems, of your actions.